Alright, I'm back with Mountain Blade Warband Blood and Steel going on this Season 1, and let's continue, right? Alright, let's see what I have. Ransom Book, Traveler, Mercenary. I can't hire anyone. I'm not hiring anyone. Because I can't. So, on another note, how are you today? How are you? That's right, I'm asking you, the viewer, how are you? Because I'm alright. I mean, if you have an answer, please, and I say please, put it in the comments. I mean, need to generate some traffic. Currently, on all my videos, as of the time that this is coming out, I've only gotten one comment out of, what, 40-something videos? Maybe even 50-something? I don't know. And 2 subscribers. Okay. So, on another thought track, how about... Do you even... Never mind. Okay, let's get right back to business. How about I allow you to send me fan mail? Alright? You can send me any fan mail you want. However, there's a stipulation attached to that. I have to get 10,000 subscribers. Just 10,000. Otherwise, it'd be really awkward to put my address out if I didn't have that many subscribers at least. I mean, it'd be pretty weird. Move! And Olive must take it down. Taken down. One shot as well. Probably got weakened earlier. I think a new enemy may have arrived. I mean, where do these guys keep coming from? Do they just decide, we're going to have an endless number of troops to assault you? I mean, where's all this coming from? Where's it all coming from? We're being attacked up here now. So I guess I have no choice. Attack! Tough guy. But I'm taking him down. Where are they? Right in front of me. Alright, perhaps this episode I should put forward another philosophical word of debate. But I'm really wondering what that word of debate would be. So, if you want to give me any topics for philosophical debate, please do so in the comments below. I apologize, not below. Below. That's right. Gotta get my terminology correct. Ooh, no casualties on our side. I think that's an improvement, to be honest. Come on. Yay, I made it. And then I took fall damage. So, philosophical conversation is always welcome. For me, at least. I mean... Well, yeah. I like to talk about a broad range of subjects. Not subjects. Subjects. Pardon my pronunciation. I am ill, as you may or may not know. But... Ooh, the boyer got killed. I mean, wounded, sorry. I am ill, so I would appreciate if you would send me these subjects. I think that's the third time I've said that so far. I think I am emphasizing this a little bit too much. But what is there to do? Hold position, men and women. Oh, I think it's scoring nighttime. Wouldn't say that's the best thing, but a good thing nonetheless. And now it's raining as well. Well, it just got a little bit too Helm's Deep for me, huh? If you get that reference. Probably. Possibly not. Okay, so on that note, how about let's discuss our opinion of science fiction, alright? Now, I know Lord of the Rings is not science fiction, so you may wonder, well, what note were you talking about when you said on that note? So I must say, I was talking about the note of fiction in general. But more specifically, I'd like to discuss science fiction. Because it's one of my interests, you know? Perhaps you don't know, but I would blame you for not knowing because I haven't really mentioned it in any of my videos so far, I believe. Well, perhaps in one of my Minecrafts, maybe. Alright, so on the debate of Star Trek versus Star Wars, I have to say that Star Wars has a lot of very good effects, and if you were to say that the Galactic Empire were to fight the Federation, I would say the Galactic Empire would win, for one reason, and that reason is that, assuming that the galaxy in Star Wars is the same size or slightly larger than the Milky Way, then you can safely assume that since it takes less time to travel distances of that size in Star Wars than in Star Trek, that the Galactic Empire would have a significant logistical advantage. Because if you can move fast, you can win. That's pretty much a principle in war. You move fast, you have a pretty good chance of winning. But, well, this is proven in several wars, including the Napoleonic Wars, where Napoleon's ability to move fast and attack, his mobility, in fact, was a great advantage. And in this instance, the disability of the Federation to deal with that would be catastrophic for them. So even though perhaps some of its technology, such as beaming and replicators and stuff like that, would be more advanced than the Galactic Empire, the Federation would still have many problems fighting the Empire due to the sheer numbers of the Empire. Of course, the Federation, smaller area, but more densely populated, so I guess the numbers wouldn't mean that much. But the Empire's ability to move around would seriously weaken the Federation Starfleet. And I'm not saying this because the Empire would have any sort of superior armament or something, because to be honest, the Death Star, the Federation could potentially match the combat ability of the Death Star. It's just that the Federation has a lot of planets to protect with a small star fleet, which would well, the Starfleet is large, but as seen in the Dominion War story arc of DS9, the size of the Federation fleet capable of battle is at most equal to that of the Galactic Empire, but only at most. I mean, it's probably less. That's what I'm saying. So the Federation would have a lot of planets to protect and not enough ships to protect them all. And that would lead to their downfall, as various planets that are left unprotected are taken. The Federation is unable to produce battle lines due to its low mobility, and it would then have to surrender in order to preserve its population. And then the Empire would win. Now, of course, the Borg is a completely different story. Borg versus Empire, I can say with reasonable conviction that the Borg would win, because the Borg don't have the logistical limitations of Starfleet, and the Borg themselves actually have more superior logistics, simply due to the fact of the transwarp conduits as seen in Endgame on Voyager. And that's the Borg for you. Pretty tough guys. Well, not necessarily guys. I mean, just women as well, but it doesn't matter that they're women because they're Borg. Borg is Borg is Borg is Borg. And another thing is, the Borg don't really have a centralized structure. I mean, you could say that the Queen is the center of the Borg collective, but at the same time, if the Queen dies, there'll just be another one, because they just have a bunch of them on hand to become queens if one of them dies. So the Queen is only really a channel for the Borg to channel themselves collectively into, but the death of the Queen does not destroy the collective. So the Borg, it's like trying to cut off a snake's head when you're dealing with a fungus. Well, more specifically, a slime mold, because it doesn't really have a head, it doesn't really have a centralized place that you can remove. You'd have to destroy the whole thing in order to destroy the whole thing. Same thing with the Borg collective. You destroy part of it and it just comes back. Oh no, have nothing to eat. Well, I was expecting that for a few episodes now, and it's finally coming around. And there's nothing really I can do about it. Oh, my number of troops has increased. Well, whoop-de-doo. Whoopity-doodly-doo. Da-dee-dee-lee-doodly-doo. So, people might say, oh, the Death Star. Death Star beats any Borg cube anytime. Well, the second Death Star, of course, can target spaceships, so it would have an advantage in that point of view. But the Borg value efficiency. So if one Borg cube wouldn't cut it, they'd send maybe 2 Borg tactical cubes and attack from 2 different directions, which would definitely overpower the second Death Star, because the Borg spaceships couldn't have a very high population density compared to Imperial spaceships, such as the Death Star, which means the Borg have very many able drones that they can send onto the Death Star. And this is where the advanced beaming technology comes in. The Borg just beam stuff onto the Death Star and turn the Death Star into a Borg super sphere or something, and assimilate the Death Star, the second Death Star that is. The first Death Star did probably assimilate as well, but in other words, the Empire would be nothing more than another something for the Borg to assimilate. Now, of course, you might say, well, why didn't the Borg beat the Federation? Plot device. That's all. I mean, it really is plot device, because what is their excuse? The excuse is, oh, the Borg are busy. They only send one ship because they're busy. And one ship, one Borg cube was almost enough to beat the Federation. Twice. I mean, you have the best of both worlds and First Contact. What did the Borg send? One cube. Both times, and they almost took Earth both times, almost destroyed the Federation. So, yeah. The Empire, in order to capture Earth, would have to send much more than one spaceship. But, well, I guess we'd have to find out on a crossover or something. Okay, let me pick up something. Horseman. Because why not? I mean, not gonna use any horses, but who cares? The answer is, someone does. The problem is, who does care? I mean, do I care? I don't know. I really don't know. Okay, let's leave, see if there's any upgrading to do. And what do we have? See your skills, mister. Okay, 13. Just 2 more levels, and actually just 1 more level, and you can wear some brand new equipment. And you know what? New equipment's good. Always gotta love new equipment. I mean, do you love new equipment? I sure hope so. Because if you just say, old equipment, I want to all get my equipment all worn out. Or you just say, I don't want to repair my equipment at all. Then you got a problem, you know? You're going to end up with old equipment that just breaks down. Which is also why you always have to clean stuff. Because things always tend from order to disorder. Even on a subatomic level. Things always tend to from order to disorder. Everything's always getting from more useful forms of energy to less useful forms of energy, even on a subatomic level. So that always leads to some problems, such as things getting messy even though nobody messed them up. Just it's a natural consequence of well, physics. Well, not physics itself, because physics are just description. Physics is just a description of what's going on in the universe. Just like law of gravity is just a description of what happens. I mean, it's not absolute. Sometimes things can happen without someone people thinking of the laws behind it. For example, before there were physical laws, things still worked by them. Laws are just descriptions of what happens. Just like there used to be some things that were considered laws at some point, physical laws, that aren't anymore. And the same thing will probably be true in the future. Some things that we might believe today in science might be obsolete at some time in the future because someone finds out that there are exceptions to these rules and they have to amend the rules to account for the exceptions because it's just a description, you know? Well, enough of that. Going back to Rivacheg. And I'm taking a break.